Let's talk about the real big news. Boris has a mustache. Welcome to the Brunch Gimmick. Whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you may be tuning in, whether you're live or tuning in, post haste. Thank you for doing so. It is always appreciated. Throw us a like, hammer that subscription button, whatever the cool kids are saying. It's always appreciated when you do it, and let us know that you are here because we, yes, all four of us, are chatting about the Summerslam. I am Spencer Love. Thank you for being here. Omar, Boris, and Lawrence joining me. It's good to see all of you guys. Boris, what? I have to ask, man. It is, of course, the lead to the show. What inspired this ever so handsome change?
Now, first of all, I always had a mustache, but now I only have a mustache. Second of all, I've added the fancy Brunch Gimmick branding to the ridiculously expensive Vorstron 5000 because we don't mess around. I wanted a new face, and I haven't done the handlebar thing since I want to say like 2006-ish. So when I was looking at some old pictures of, my fantastic wrestling career, and I'm like, let's bust this thing out. So we decided, what the hell, let's bust it out. And it is now busted. It's now out. And Lawrence, I watched SummerSlam so I can actually contribute this week.
Oh, look at that.
Of course, it is the second big return of the weekend. Yep. The original Tribal Chief and the original handlebar mustache. Lawrence, how you doing? Did you watch Summer? I'm assuming everybody here watched SummerSlam, right? Like, if Boris watched it, and I mean this in the kindest of ways, I would assume that everybody else watched SummerSlam, right?
Trust me, we did.
Yeah.
Well, good. How you doing, Lawrence? How you doing, Omar? And I guess let's kick right off, unless anybody's going to hop in the comments and let us know otherwise, with the SummerSlam. Omar.
Spencer, I don't mean to cut you off, but can I just do one thing really, really quickly before we move on? I legally just have to do this once, okay? It legally has to happen, and then I won't do it again.
Nope, that's Boris. We know how this works. We know how this works.
All right, I'll shut up.
But yeah,
now.
let's get into it. Let's get it. No, don't do that. You're on a stream. That just makes for bad hashtag content. The SummerSlam. Omar, I'll start with you. Lawrence, I'll start with you because I asked Boris about his mustache first. So the question to you, thoughts on the SummerSlam?
I really enjoyed the show. It was I would say a 9 out of 10. Very, very good show. We all saw the coming for the Judgment Day imploding, as you can see. Everybody saw that coming, and it was just a great show. Loved. I personally really enjoyed the Nia Jax and Bailey match. Nia Jax, she has improved a lot, tremendously since she showed up. So it's funny because she returned almost a year ago, and now she's come back and improved tremendously, especially on the mic. Great, great stuff. Loved the main event, and considering that Roman Reigns showed up, I had this idea of like, you know what? I haven't been the brunch gimmick in like a month. Let me just hop it on. So that was the main inspiration. But yeah, I do think. But yeah, it was a great, great show. The Braun Breaker Sami Zayn match surprised me for how short it was, because like the last match they had, it was a legit match, but this felt like very one sided in my opinion. So that was really a surprise for me, and I like that. So it is what it is. But yeah, really enjoyed that show. Really great stuff.
Lawrence, agree,
Yep.
disagree? I think you and I, and if I can speak for you a little bit here before diving in, I'm sure we agree on the bias on Sami Zayn losing the title. But overall, let's talk about SummerSlam. Your thoughts?
Oh, I enjoyed it throughout the card. It was every match felt like a main event match. Like it felt like it should be on that card. Like there was all payoffs to different stories. Uh, like the Sami Zayn match, I was like a little shocked for how short it was, especially like given like at Mania, and the whole thing was like Sammy is resilient as hell and can take like everyone's finishers. And like he took two spears and that was it. Like I thought he was gonna kick out of that second spear and we're gonna keep going, but like it was there to build Braun Breaker. And like shout out to Sammy because he did a great job in doing that, of making Braun look like the like super athletic killer he is. Like you really enjoyed how they brought back Roman Reigns at the end of the show. Like that pop was just like that ooh ah
That
with
was
the whole
massive.
crowd was insane. Like you, as a wrestling fan, like you just gotta love stuff like that. Like it's just everyone having that communal experience, and like this is like the first time we're gonna have a legitimate, probably full on babyface Roman Reigns, where like
That people
not
actually liked.
yeah, people actually want him there.
That's not even a
Yeah.
shot. That's that people actually like.
Yeah, like the fact he's legitimately cool now and not like pre-branded, having lines forced to him. Like to Roman Reigns' credit, everything he said that was going to happen like has happened so far, with like being able to individualize the Usos and building every member of his family. Like it's a little bad I don't think they've released the severity of Jacob's injury. He does
No.
have a walking boot on.
Yeah, there's pictures.
Yeah, he
of
was
him
on a
in-
Yeah.
stream there last night,
So
I
it's-
think, or an Instagram live, or I don't know what the kids do. But yeah, hoping all the best on that end of things. But like, what a show, Boris! You and I were
Yeah.
chatting there in the room before Omar and Lawrence hopped in. Like, I think that SummerSlam was a fairly predictable show. And
Yeah.
predictable is by no means a bad thing in this sense. Like you said, I don't think there was anyone out there who didn't expect or at least hope that Roman Reigns returned last night, and he did, and it was a huge moment. I think a lot of people expected that Dominic Mysterio was going to turn and align with Liv Morgan at some times. It happened, but it was great, right? Like, I think that everything was fairly predictable, or you could somewhat see a lot of it coming, but that's not a bad thing. The quote I read, I actually think it was even Meltzer that said it, was like, when people say that wrestling's predictable, that says, okay, so that means it makes sense in a lot of ways. And a lot of the stuff for me made a lot of sense. And I think that there was a lot of great in-ring with it as well, too, right? Like, you can't say, and I didn't like the one spot there with Finn Balor at the end, but Gunther and Damian Priest was everything that I wanted to be. I can't wait for the rematch there eventually. Those two dudes
open his
beat
chest.
the hell. Yeah, those two dudes
that was
beat the hell
gnarly.
out of each other. I thought that Liv and Rhea Ripley was not surprisingly good in a bad way, but I was hoping for good, and it was really good. Yeah, the only match, at least for me, that sort of felt a little bit slow until Roman returned, obviously, giving that away, was Cody and Solo. But I think that that's by design and sort of what the main event style in WWE just is, right? So, yeah, I'll give it 4 bags of popcorn out of 5. Mostly for the fact, and again, a lot of people out there saying it's a storyline show. That's not a bad thing. I'm excited to see where everything's coming out of SummerSlam, right? So
now
there's the overall.
I'm not a regular viewer, so I can't say whether it was predictable or not because I don't really necessarily watch the show every week. But I decided just to check this out, so I don't know as much of the storylines as I should. So when Finn turned, I didn't know what any of that was about. I don't know what's going on with Judgment Day, so that was cool. When Dom turned, I was like, oh, that's cool because again, I don't watch the show, so I was kind of going in a little bit blind and fresh. All the in ring I thought was really, really good. But you gotta respect the machine, and that's what I call it WWE because nobody does it like the machine. The second that Roman Reigns walked out with that OTC T-shirt, I literally grabbed my phone and I went to shop. And I kept hitting refresh. And within 30 seconds of when he was on that screen, that T-shirt was on the front page of shop. And I'm just like, you got to respect the machine. They know what they're doing, and they do it better than anyone else. Is Omar AI? Is he a real person, or is he AI? Why does he not have a face?
I couldn't show the face because the lighting is horrible in this hotel. Anyways, by the way, I'm out of town, so I was like, let me just be faceless for now. It is what it is.
I have a new face, but no, the show was fantastic. I quite enjoyed all the in-ring. I think the main event it's a little overbooked for my taste with 56 run-ins, just like WrestleMania was. But again, I know that everyone's involved in this story and you got to tie everybody into it. But that's the only thing I have to say about that. I'm really hyped to see Jacob Fatu doing well because I've been watching him on the indies for the past year and a bit, and this is cool to see somebody get to that next level. I hope the injury is not too bad because I couldn't tell how much of that was work and how much of that was F word. This ain't good. But I surprised I was able to sit through 4 hours of WWE. I'm not saying it's bad, just my attention span and stuff, but it kept my attention, and I really, really enjoyed the show.
Yeah. Let's start. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, of course, for the WWE Women's Championship. Like I said, I was really, really stoked with this entire match, to be honest with you. I think that sometimes Liv Morgan has got a reputation as not a very good professional wrestler. I just think that's wrong conclusively at this point, right? I thought the match was fantastic in and of itself. Rhea Ripley, by my math, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but is she the first person to kick out of the Oblivion? Because I think she is.
I do not.
So, neat little moment there. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. But if that is the case, then cool. I can always appreciate something like that, especially for someone like Rhea Ripley, who has been built as this major ass kicker. But yeah, I really loved the angle at the end. Again, everybody could see it coming, but I love me the soap opera elements of pro wrestling. I thought it was great. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm kind of intrigued to see the reasoning or hear the reasoning behind it, because what changed in the last week? Have they been planning this the whole time and Dom was just going along with it? That's what I'm sort of excited to see, because I don't know. Rep, stay down, please. I'm explaining things to the internet. Thank you.
And he's just a sleazy looking bastard, and it's so good.
My God, right? It's kind of funny. That dude, regardless of how that custody match went years ago, looks exactly like Eddie goddamn Guerrero. Regardless of how everything went, I still ain't believing it 100% because that mullet, only rivaled by a few people.
Yeah, it's on point.
It is a great looking mullet, and the only person
I actually have
up against it is Big Bad Boris.
I actually got a reason why Dominic portrayed Rhea Ripley, and the main reason, and I actually said it on a podcast, which, by the way, best things about wrestling, go check it out. All podcasts, all available podcasting platforms. Anyway, so the reason why I said this was because remember last year when Rey Mysterio faced Dominic Mysterio, and I said during that match there was a lot of shenanigans between the Judgment Day and LWO, but guess what? Rhea Ripley wasn't there to help Dominic Mysterio defeat his deadbeat dad, which led to a loss for him. But guess what happened on a random match that they had between Rey Mysterio and Dominic on a random episode of Raw? Liv Morgan did just that and helped Dominic defeat his deadbeat dad. So I do think that is the core reason why Dominic Mysterio was like, you know what? I think I should start hanging out with Liv Morgan more because she helped me defeat my sore enemy that I had for like the past 2-3 years has been, just I've been in his shadow for so long. So I do think that's the main reason why. I don't know if I could be wrong, but that's just my speculation.
No, I could 100%
Homie's
see
paying
it, man.
attention.
But for me, it's like if you're gonna do that, why he's chewing her out all last week, like that was literally the go home to Raw was him telling her he's choosing mommy. So where the difference in that is, I'm excited to see. I think you're bang on as far as that being like a crux for it. But yeah, it'll be cool to see. I hate that phrase because of course it should be. It's professional wrestling. But where it goes from here, I don't know. Let's see. Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn. I liked it.
Very short.
Well, and I don't know why, if they were going to do this in this conclusive of a thing, like why would you not have done this last month at Money in the Bank? Especially, Braun there while he was on the post-show panel. He got obviously a great reaction, rightfully so. Braun Breaker rules, but like got a great babyface reaction there to close the match out. If they're continuing to build him as a heel, like he's going after Sami Zayn, Ilya Dragunov, two conclusive baby faces on the roster. Like if he's still supposed to be a heel with all of this sort of stuff, unless this was supposed to be the turn, I don't know why they wouldn't have done this last month, had him beat Sami conclusively in front of his hometown crowd, Canadian. Why you wouldn't have done that, get the heel heat on him, and then maybe go for something like a bigger match or a longer match this month at SummerSlam. So I don't know. I quite liked it. I think the Braun was inevitably going to be the Intercontinental Champion at some point, but I don't know. For me, unless this was supposed to be the babyface turn, because he wasn't a babyface up until this point. Like unless this was supposed to be the turn, then I don't know why you wouldn't have reversed the order of these, That's just me.
Yeah.
That's just
me.
I
agree.
Lawrence, maybe Sami Zayn should have just held the championship until he retired. But like
I also felt people online were getting tired of him, like despite I don't understand why, but like there were more complaints online that he kept winning, and people were like they were expecting Braun Breaker to win. Like I think the crowd, at least more and more people, would have turned on him a little more if he continued to win. Like I felt it was the right decision to put it on Braun Breaker. Now, hopefully within the next few months, you see Sami possibly move up to the heavyweight title position. Like he's one of the few people to beat Gunther. So maybe them feuding. A
rematch at maybe next year's WrestleMania. That could be cool.
Like Gunther's got a very slim list of people that have beaten him. So setting that up would be good, great, because I want more for Sami. I just don't want him to go back down. Even though Triple H very much complimented him again at the press conference and put him over, and so did Braun Breaker, like you mentioned on the panel, also put Sami over, and they said how much thankful they are to him and how much work he's put into it and how much he has been steadfast the last few years. So I obviously very biased, would very much, both because he's a good person, a great wrestler and a good person outside of the ring, would like to see him with a title and continue to be one of the faces of the company. But yeah, I'm very,
absolutely.
I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with Braun Breaker, because that is I'm happy they're heavily investing in some of their newer talents, Jacob Fatu before the injury, just signing and getting a title. Braun Breaker not a few months into being on the main roster has a title. They're definitely Triple H is definitely putting stock in some of these some of the NXT people too now.
Yeah, completely agree. And I obviously not maybe on the SummerSlam card, but Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, I think has really shown up and shown out in the same way that, ironically enough, years ago when Andrade first came up with Rey Mysterio. I think you can see sort of some parallels there. Lyra Valkyria's looked great. Tiffany Stratton, I think people forget, really only came up at the Royal Rumble this year. 6 months, 7 months in, and Ms. Money in the Bank. Like I say, it's been very, very cool to see the level of investment and the level of care that's sort of gone into the newer guys and gals, where maybe it wasn't given the same level of care as in years past. To NXT, Dare Amazing, good to see you, friend. Thanks for hopping in. We were chatting SummerSlam. We were chatting. What was the next match on the card? Number 3 was Bayley and Nia, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Because then, it was Punk. There we go. See, I'm not immune to being confused at some points. I just thought this was great. Like you said earlier, to kick it off, Omar, I think that Nia Jax has been another person who's just come back. You know, I don't know how she chose to use her time away from WWE, but like whatever she chose to do, she came back, and I don't know if it was just better booking, better attitude, whatever, you know, maybe there, but like it's been a whole new Nia Jax, because this run has been absolutely terrific. She's really grown into being what I think a lot of people thought she should be or could be when she first came up. Fully deserving, and like it's going to be fun to see as well too where the relationship with her and Tiffany Stratton goes, because anytime Tiffy in the bank, there's got to be a better name. We'll figure that one out.
Yeah.
But either way, excited to see where this goes. Boris, your thoughts as a newer person to this, as someone who doesn't watch as often.
I don't know the storyline going back to that. I do like the way they kind of lean into the previous reports of Nia being kind of unsafe, and her in the middle of the match being, "Oh, I'm reckless," as she's beating her ass. I think that kind of stuff is really cool. Again, I don't know Tiffany Stratton from a hole in the ground, so I don't know anything about that, so I can't really comment. But I did enjoy the match, and I enjoyed some of the crap talk, and yeah. Maybe I don't have as much to contribute as I thought.
No. Boris, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're just here to chat.
It did make me want to watch Raw and SmackDown, though. It's like, oh man, I don't have time to watch WWE as well. But like, it made me kind of want to go, what's going to happen next?
And
Which
that's
is
the
whole
point.
purpose of wrestling.
Yeah.
Lawrence, maybe sidetrack here a bit. Thoughts on Bayley's title run?
Like, granted, it wasn't that long, but Bayley is another one that's just one of these steadfast, like, true blue, can put anyone over, makes anyone look great, and like truly one of those that's still like fully a wrestling nerd. Like, also shout out to JPJ and Plug, who have an interview with Bayley on our YouTube out now from the press junket.
I was gonna plug it all at the end. That's what this is all for. Talk. We plug later.
But
Jesus,
that's that synergy. That's that brand synergy. It comes up. But yes, Bayley, like you can see there, like if you watch that, there's just her having fun and like truly enjoying talking about wrestling. But yeah, Bayley can do no wrong. Like, she truly loves being there and just wants to make other stars, and very excited. It's one of those people who always have a good title run, and like it was a little shorter than I thought it would be this time. Like, I thought she carried it a little longer, like possibly Survivor Series, but like the story is very much now between Nia and Tiffany Stratton, like the potential cash in between two best friends, or two friends, like her, Tiffany Stratton, like very much the champion in waiting for like months.
No, I agree. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look at it. I feel like I want more, but that's purely for the fact that, again, I love me some Bayley. Just would have maybe hoped for a little bit more on that end of things. Logan Paul, LA Knight. LA Knight wins. Not going to talk about this match. I just think that's fair.
Facts.
Love me some LA Knight. Right guy's got the title.
Yeah.
Moving the F.
Can I just say one thing? Can I just... Sorry, are we like boycotting this match for any particular reason that I know?
All I'm gonna say is
Logan Paul.
All I'm gonna say is all I'm gonna say is oopsie, the man lost, so whatever.
No, we ain't even gonna reference that shit. That doesn't belong here.
I had a thing, but I respect that because I respect that. Moving on.
Thank you.
Let's go.
I like us. You guys are good human beings. Next up, we had a match that I think a lot of people were really, really looking forward to. A lot of people were really, really looking forward to. Frankly, for me, probably the best story going into the show. Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Seth Rollins as your special guest referee. I got to be honest with you guys. When it was like a wrestling match, I quite enjoyed this. But where you talk about the main event being a little bit overbooked, I feel like this one was a little bit overbooked. And I really hope that it's like, I don't know. I really hope, I hate the phrase too, but like I really hope it's a more like traditional wrestling match, or if it's not going to be, like make it a no DQ match or something like that. I didn't like the fact that basically Seth Rollins there was in his role chose to make it a no DQ or ignored stuff or anything like that. That was too much for me. At least if you're going to be an overbooked mess, advertise it as an overbooked mess like you do with Bloodline Rules. I just wish these two dudes for such a heated feud would have gone out there. And if it was going to be a no DQ, make it a no DQ. And if it wasn't going to be, just go in there and beat the hell out of each other in the way that like Gunther and Damian Priest did, you know?
But in fairness, if Seth doesn't do that, then there's literally no point in him being there. If he doesn't get involved and kind of do those kind of things, and there's no reason to have him there. That being said, I did follow this storyline a little bit just because it's been so prominent on the social medias and stuff. And yeah, really good match. Quite enjoyed it.
Yeah. Lawrence, Omar, differ with me at all? I am open to newer opinions. I have been what's the word I'm looking for? Well, yelled at. I've been yelled at before.
I do think this storyline makes. I will say, the way that Drew McIntyre was obsessed about CM Punk at WrestleMania, and that's what led him to a loss. I feel like that basically being the opposite of CM Punk being obsessed of beating Drew McIntyre to the point where like it cost him a loss. I think I like that full circle storyline coming back. Basically, I just like that. I like that aspect. So I think, yeah, it was overbooked, but I really liked how they did it. So yeah, Lawrence, take it away.
Yeah, like I think there's like just a couple problems, especially like the last few days with the Seth Rollins rules was not clear to anyone, and they would like never clear. Like they were making it sound going into it that it was going to be a straight up no DQ match, because especially the day before at the launch party, the launch event, they both are like, this is gonna be a violent, brutal match. We're gonna beat the hell out of each other, and like that didn't come to like there was nothing of that. Like you didn't know, like it was a fine match, but you didn't know where to put your expectations of what kind of match would be. Like they should have just made it a straight up no DQ, and like Seth Rollins could still gotten involved, and there's still the like caveat of Seth probably screwing one of them over. Like that's still there. But he's just there to count he's supposed to be just there to count the 1, 2, 3, because like all the other refs are scared because they don't want to get involved in such a brutal match. Like it would have been better if they made it a straight stipulation, like no DQ, and just have him like. But like it's clearly not gonna be the last time either, because like Drew on the post show said, "Oh, I'm done with him. I'm moving on." But like, buddy, you still took his bracelet back at the end of the match. Like clearly you're not done with him. Yeah, like you're still holding on to that little bracelet. Like you could have just left it on his arm if you're done with him, wanting to move on to the heavyweight title again. Yeah. Like, and
he sounds like me.
I to be honest,
yeah, I was gonna say.
I like that. I liked that being like a bit of a reason to be. Like people get attached to personal items. They just do, right? Whatever that may be, whatever the reason may be. Like I liked that being a part of the story, but like. For me, like you say, if this was going to be a no DQ or something along those lines, cool, like full power. I love Seth Rollins. This ain't by any means me not wanting him to be a part. But if you're going to build towards a no DQ out of this or get Seth Rollins involved in the feud, I don't know. I just think there may have been a better way than like a guest referee spot, because like you say, it wasn't a very, I don't know. Discombobbled is a word that gets used a lot in my family, and that's the way that I would sort of put it.
Is Seth hurt right now? Is that why he's not working?
No.
Or am I just not
at least
paying
as far as I know.
Okay.
No, he should be good to go. So I'm not certain how. I would need to put some more thought into that, but like, if this was going to be a no DQ right off the bat, great. Have Seth involved, and if you're building towards a no DQ, then like for me, this should have been just a traditional wrestling match. I fucking hate that phrase, but like a traditional wrestling match that turned into a schmoz that I don't know. Moving on.
Like that.
At the beginning of every match at LPW, you should say the following contest is a traditional wrestling match.
Boris, I would punch myself in the face. I would be punching myself in the face.
I'm going to do that for one match on Thursday,
and I'll be upset. Probably, and I will probably grab. Can you get down, please? See, this is what's been distracting me. Sorry, he's a very excited little pup for some reason right now.
Somebody
and I don't
wants
know why.
to be on camera.
No,
No.
somebody's being kind of a jerk, for lack of a better way to put it. He's like gnawing at my hand here, and he's already gone out and all of that sort of stuff. Okay, you know what? Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna go put him away for a while. I'll see you in a sec. I'll be right back. Lawrence, start talk. Whatever the next.
Can I say one thing really quickly about that? They really tried to force feed that whole Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart thing from all those years ago. As we get older and further away from those things, like how many fans do you think got that reference?
I got it. But I'm a young wrestling fan, so.
But you're very, you're not a casual fan. Like I use my girlfriend as like a barometer of a casual fan, and like the casual fan may not know that reference. So I wonder if that behooves
now this is all bunged
to really try to force feed those things.
CM Punk doing a Bret Hart tribute in his match.
Yeah.
What? I don't know. I don't know. Here's the thing: is what's old is new again. I think it's like an Easter egg for a lot of fans. If you're a new fan, you're going to see that and be like, "Oh, this is the most unique new thing I've ever seen." And for people like us who have watched wrestling for a long time, it's a neat little Easter egg. It's like seeing a Howard the Duck statue in a Marvel comic or some shit. I don't know. I don't watch those movies all that much.
Yeah,
that's not
I haven't. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched them enough that Howard the Duck was the first pull I made. So there you go. Damian Priest, Gunther beat the hell out of each other. Sorry to just move on so quickly, but I loved this. I was real happy with this one. Wrestling is sometimes at its best when you are just out there and beating the ever-loving hell out of each other. That's what this was up until the angle at the end. I really, really loved this match. I think that Damian Priest's title run was fantastic. I think that Seth Rollins, like every heavyweight champion so far, has done a great job with it. I think that Seth Rollins carrying it for the 316 days that I think it was. He did a great job of establishing that as a real workhorse title, and Damian Priest continued that. He had some fantastic matches with it. He really established himself as it's a weird way to put it, but I don't know how many people looked at him in like the tier of heavy hitter as like a Gunther or a Drew McIntyre up until he got this title. And he proved he belongs on that sort of level of heavyweight badass. You know what I mean? So I loved his title reign. Full kudos to him. I'm excited to see him sort of take more of a babyface role, or a more established babyface role. Not that he hasn't been in it for the last little bit with the Judgment Day, but I'm excited to see where him and Finn Balor go, because hell, even if you want to make the comparison, Balor and Gunther had a hell of a match last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was now. And Balor's got great chemistry with the bigger dude. They've been working together, obviously, as part of a tag team for the better part of the last 2 years. And this will be cool as hell. This also means every original member of the Judgment Day is now, I would assume, at least as of Monday, out of the Judgment Day, because Rhea's gone and Damian Priest is gone, and Adam Copeland's completely gone.
Or they're just doing NWO style, and there's going to be Judgment Day Wolfpack. And
Scott Norton's going to join.
Yeah.
Scott Norton's going to join, and he will be the only member of the Bullet Club, the NWO, the NWO Japan, Judgment Day.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think he was in 7 for about 45 minutes as well at some point.
Scott Norton.
I liked the visual of Gunther bleeding from the chest was awesome for so many reasons. It kind of humanized him just for a second, like he's not this indestructible beast, but at the same time it was very much a Nelson Simpson's "you made me bleed my own blood" kind of thing, and just him wiping on his face. It's all just badass stuff. And I've never been, truth be told, even back to ROH, a big Damian Priest guy. But I'm happy for his success and to see how far he's come and see how over he is. And I'm looking forward to kind of checking out that documentary as well, because every documentary they make is really good. And I'm sure this one's going to be really good as well.
Yeah, he's got it either just came out or is just coming out.
I think it's this week sometime. Yeah.
Cool. That'll be a good one. I've grown to become a really big fan of his, to be honest. But yeah, same sort of thing as I admittedly didn't really watch a ton of any wrestling while he was wrestling with Ring of Honor, to be honest. So it's been a lot of catch up, but I've quite enjoyed him since since his sort of latest run, newest run. I don't know what you want to call it. Anywho, whoop-de-whoop.
Current run.
There we go. Thank you, Boris. That's why you're the audible chocolate of this.
Ringside to rafters.
See, I stole that from you. I'll tell you a funny story when we're off air. But yeah, the main event, Cody Rhodes, Solo Sikoa, Bloodline Rules match. Again, by design, it was a bit of a slower paced match compared to some of the stuff that came earlier, up until all of the run-ins and the foo-for-ah and the what-have-yous came around. I enjoyed it. I admittedly wasn't all that into Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa, purely on the fact that I didn't think Solo Sikoa had a chance, especially once it became a Bloodline Rules match, you know. So I was more watching this match, to be quite honest with you, for the Roman Reigns or hopefully the Roman Reigns return. That being said, I don't know. I think that once the interference started, all of that sort of stuff, that's when stuff got really fun. I love me some chaos booking, but it sort of felt slow before that, especially like any of the pinfalls, anything like that. You sort of figured weren't going to matter until there was some interference. You're not going to get a Bloodline Rules match and then have a squeaky clean 1, 2, 3, right? So, I don't know. I love it, and I still love me some Cody Rhodes. Like, it's been very, very cool, to be quite honest with you, to see that the momentum's really continued for WWE. I think a lot of people somewhat thought, and rightfully so, the guy's a generational talent, and not using that phrase lightly. And Roman Reigns losing the title, I think a lot of people may have thought that things would have dropped off after a bit. It's been cool as hell to see WWE continue to grow, pro wrestling as a whole continue to grow, and Cody Rhodes at the forefront of it. You know, I got a lot of love for Cody Rhodes.
I will say regarding the Roman Reigns return, I saw a tweet somewhere, and I want to shout out this person because I'm forgetting the name, but they said that they want to see at least a Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes match one last time, at least between SummerSlam, maybe Bad Blood, maybe just that one more match, just a straight up wrestling match, just have them go around and then have like Solo Sikoa cost Roman Reigns, and then you could build, you know, a Bloodline Rules match at like, or a Bloodline War Games match or something. But yeah, I want to see at least one more match of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, just at least one before we get into it. But yeah, I do think that having that could be the next direction. But maybe that's just me. What about you guys?
I'd be shocked if we don't get like a 5-on-5 Bloodline War Games match. I'd be absolutely shocked. Like, especially now, and Lawrence, you and I actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago while we were on here. Like, Hikuleo's been confirmed to sign. That makes it an easy 5 there for the Bloodline, obviously, and knock on wood, pending what's going on with Jacob Fatu. But if you got that, you know, OG Bloodline or whatever you want to call them, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Cody Rhodes hopping in there to assist, and Sami Zayn.
Zilla's waiting in the wings somewhere. I don't think he's quite ready yet, but Zilla may be there at some point as well. I know he's
I don't
very
know
green,
if he's. I don't know if
wasn't he on the media tours?
No.
He was on the media tours of Plug Out.
No, he was just there.
He was just there.
Yeah, I think they just ran into him.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Yeah, because GCW ran a show in Cleveland on the second.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of that one right now.
He's friends with like Muscleman Malcolm, I think, as well. So they were just hanging out.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, but like Hikuleo's been confirmed to be signed, obviously, again with the heavy asterisk of Jacob Fatu, but that sort of remains to be seen as of the recording of the brunch gimmick here. It is 11:38. We're 38 minutes. We started the show 14 seconds early, you guys. I was on my game today. I was pretty proud. I remembered to loop the video. Did real well. I like to think.
Already a better producer than Kevin Dunn, so shout out to you, Spencer. So thumbs up.
He got paid a lot more than me. And in this business, sometimes it's all about the money you make, brother.
True. That's I feel that. That's true. I feel that.
But yeah, that being said, I'm excited to see where things go. Roman and Solo. Like, it's pretty indisputable that Roman Reigns elevates everybody that he's worked with. Look at the people that he's made over the last few years, and I really think that that's been one of the missing pieces for the Bloodline feud. Obviously, let's get real here. But him being back is an absolute game changer for the WWE. So we'll see what happens there.
For a split second, I thought Cody was going to bring Pharaoh out, and I was like, have we not learned anything from this? And I was like, don't bring that poor dog out there to the pyro again. But then he handed off the dog, and I was like, okay, all is well.
Pharaoh's retirement tour. That was Pharaoh's last WWE appearance.
What do we is that helmet thing that Cody wore? Is that new?
Yeah, I think
Isn't that a Homelander thing? I don't know. I haven't
know how I
watched The
feel
Boys
about
yet.
that thing. Like the jacket, I'm okay with, but the helmet skull thing was, to me, was a little much. But what do I know?
Yeah. But also,
Yeah.
like, happy to see them bring in Arn Anderson there. Everyone expected him to pass off a gun real quick.
I was
I was
just
waiting
waiting.
for
Bloodline
that.
rules. Him and his block coming
You're
right
gonna
up
need
there.
this. That's all the help you need.
Cody, you're gonna need this. I do a terrible Arn Anderson, but yeah, no gunplay.
Like,
At least quite yet. in
Not till
WWE,
War
Who
Games.
knows?
yeah.
That's exactly.
But like, I felt the
Bloody
match
pistol
and and like the ending, especially Roman, just by like looks and it, like, he did a good job of like immediately going after Solo and not like faking who's gonna, like, standing in the ring and just like playing who am I gonna go after. It was like quite clear the most important thing right now is the family business, and like it also shows what's they're gonna build up for the next few months. Is like it's obviously gonna end by next year at some point, either at Royal Rumble or Mania, with like Cody and Roman 3. Like that's inevitable. But like clearly for the next few months, you're building up to that inevitable War Games match. So you can literally have either Roman Solo, as like Roman has to build up his family again and like his side of the bloodline. Like he has to build trust with people again, like with everyone he has hurt, and with both Usos, and like other possibly bringing in another family member. Like you can tell
Sami
that story.
Zayn.
Yeah.
I hope we don't do Cody Roman 3 this soon. I hope we don't do it in the calendar year.
No,
I think
it's next
there's.
year.
I don't think it's WrestleMania. I don't think we're hopefully looking at that until 42, 43. Like, there is still the possibility. Like, I still firmly believe we're going to get Cody and Rock at WrestleMania this year, or Roman and Rock, right?
Yeah.
And you can kick that off again at Survivor Series potentially. I know he didn't come for the only time they've ever celebrated an anniversary for him at Survivor Series, but the Rock and Survivor Series are still linked at the hip, right? So the Rock choosing that to make his return could happen, might happen, but I hope we don't. I'll be excited when it happens if they do it at the right time. Don't get me wrong, the match is always going to be a lot of fun, but like, I don't want to see Cody Roman. You do it too soon. You do it too soon again, and you run the risk of making it the Roman Brock, where people would eventually get to the point of
Getting sick of it, yeah.
until there was a bulldozer involved.
Yeah.
But the look that they gave each other as Roman was leaving, that's another one of those just WWE beautiful production, subtle things that not necessarily a lot of companies try to pull off really subtle things like that. And sometimes I've been given many subtle things to try to focus on over the years. And it's really hard to do subtle things because sometimes you really have to force feed it, even though it's subtle. But just that little look, just beautiful. Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
And kind of lost in the shuffle was that SummerSlam 2026 in Minnesota, going to be 2 nights. So we got 86 nights for Roman and Cody on WrestleMania 41, night 4.
As well, like the press conference.
Or Tuesday Night Raw. Raw's so big, it's going to be 2 nights every week now. We're going to have Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night Raw.
But also Triple H, like, pretty much confirmed that this was possibly even next year is going to be 2 nights. He said like this is more looking like it's going to be the last single night SummerSlam.
Did we really need him to come out and introduce Jelly Roll?
He comes out like before every pay-per-view now.
Like, I know we have to continually remind people that the bad man is gone and that this is the Paul Levesque era, but like, come on, guys.
How else, Boris, are we supposed to know if everybody's ready?
Yeah.
And how great was
How else are we going to know if everybody's ready?
I'm no selling that. How great was Austin Theory to take that chokeslam like a champ? He went up into the rafters. I respect that so much. He made Jelly Roll look like a goddamn legend, and I love it. So good. Single-handed, he's just like, I'm gonna.
Austin Theory is going to be great as the next coming is The Miz. Like that's the way it's got to be approached, to be honest with you, because like, man, I didn't like the whole run with the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't really, in the nicest way, know a lot of people who did, but this run with Grayson Waller, sort of embracing a little bit more of the silliness of it, and like, the Miz, man, is a Hall of Fame talent. That's it. That's all. If you were getting compared, Chelsea Green even said the same thing, as she wants to be the female version of the Miz. That is a compliment. And him doing stuff like that, it reminded me so much, Boris, where I was going is like last year when the Miz is wrestling Snoop Dogg because Shane McMahon blows out his ACL.
So
like,
good.
Man, you don't hope that anybody blows their ACL, but
Of
like
course.
somebody to take that role of, hey, the celebrity's here and I'm going to be the one with my pants down about it. Cool. That is a great spot. Wrestling it is at its best when it's silly, right?
Oh, and when R-Truth was in the ring, I asked Melissa, my lady friend, I was like, how old do you think that guy is? And guess what she said?
Like 34.
38.
Yep.
And then I asked Google, and they're like, Ron Killings is 52. And she was like, and I'm like, I know, this dude don't age.
He is a good-looking dude. If I look like R-Truth, if I age as well as R-Truth did, I'm doing something well. I'm already starting to get blotchy, and I'm not.
You know, regarding the Miz, I've always said that he's like the wrestling's chameleon in the sense that he just adapts to every single style that he wrestles to, and he's just so good at it. And one of the great examples was when he had this great match with Seth Rollins at that one of the worst pay-per-views I've ever seen, which was the Backlash 2018. But that opening match with him and Seth Rollins just proves that dude can really adapt in so many different styles. So yeah, the Miz is great.
I gotta be honest, man. His feud was 17-16, where he was the IC champion against Dolph Ziggler. That whole run was fantastic for me. Like, Miz just rules. I quite enjoyed, like I said, this entire pay-per-view. There wasn't really much that I really didn't enjoy. You know, even the stuff that wasn't particularly my taste, like the main event, I still enjoyed. It's by no means a bad match. There was nothing that I didn't. There's nothing that I hated. There's nothing that I thought was egregious. There's stuff that wasn't personally my favorite, and that is usually the case on a lot of pay-per-views.
Kept my attention
pro
for
wrestling.
4 hours, which is not easy.
Exactly.
The Robert Gibson eye joke went over the head of about 80% of professional wrestling fans right now, but savagely brilliant. I'm like, I don't know if Robert Gibson has heat with R-Truth, but man, amazing work.
Sometimes it's the Kevin Nash theory. I don't know if you've ever seen that meme that goes around. It's, I wasn't here to pop the crowd. I'm here to pop the 6 boys in the back. And that's what that was for. That one was for the 6. And I bet you those 6 boys in the back really enjoyed that joke. Because
absolutely,
if you enjoyed it, I enjoyed it.
And yeah, tons of respect for the Miz.
Tons of respect to the Miz. Anything else? Anything else that anybody wants to touch on from the SummerSlam before we start to talk about the week that will be? I still have to admittedly catch up on Collision. I heard it was a really good episode, or I should say, shout out to Cage Side Seats. I read it was a very good episode. But I'm still going to catch up on that today.
I think they touched on the John Cena retirement tour a little bit on the broadcast as well. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
When they talked, he was like coming to a city like near you. So I wonder if he's going to do like just a shit ton of house shows for a year.
I hope it's not like a North American tour where he only goes to Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto and Vancouver.
John Cena's North
That's
American
my pet
tour.
peeve. I hate that when I see my favorite bands doing a North American
tour. And it's just Vancouver. Sometimes it's just Vancouver, and it drives me insane.
Agreed.
Come to Edmonton, John. Yeah. We could use some more John Cena. Like, that's all I'm asking. I'll even go to Calgary.
You say that like it's a chore to go to God's country.
Sometimes it is. You know what? I will say I went to the Calgary Stampede for the first time. I actually went to Collision, and then I went to the Calgary Stampede. And let me tell you what. I was underwhelmed. I'll just say it.
No. I haven't been to the Stampede probably
not that it was bad, but
over 20 years now. So
there was a really good brass band. I was very very happy when I was starting to walk in, and there was the brass band. But
the Stampede show band is actually world famous.
Yeah, and other than them, like it's K-Days. Except they had a place called Nashville North, which had an hour-long lineup to get in, which I assume is because it was the only place you could grab a beer. So
I don't think it's the only place, but there's like a lot of music and stuff in there. Nashville North is like a staple of the Stampede. And it's funny because I used to call Klondike Day or K-Days the wannabe Stampede, and then I did some Googling, and K-Days actually predates the Calgary Stampede, and I was like, oh, I can't say that anymore now.
So we're the first show on Earth is what we'll call it. Perfect. Yeah.
It ain't all that great, but it's the first. But no, I'm into the Stampede a long time, so I don't know how much has changed. I know there's like...
And the lines are just... I've started to realize I've become the Grinch, but specifically... Because I love Christmas. But specifically, like, with the lines. No, I won't do it. I can't.
And they set an attendance record this year, too, so there's a lot of folks down there.
It's probably because of Collision. Probably because
yes.
of that.
So many colliders. Colliders.
No, I'm a dynamiter. There was dynamite.
It's Kaboomer.
A Kaboomer?
It's Kaboomer.
Is that what we're calling them? Is that it?
It's like when they did Colliders, the other one was Kaboomer.
Oh, I don't like any of that. What a weird period in wrestling history those 4 months were.
Yeah.
What a weird time. We'll get through it. Anyways, that's it. That's all. As far as SummerSlam goes, man, Boris, we are 2 weeks away. We are 13 days away from the first ever professional wrestling event at West Edmonton Mall. See, this is where we start to plug you guys. Yeah, just so you know.
Yep.
We are 13 days away from the first ever professional wrestling event at West Edmonton Mall.
Do you want me to handle this, or you want to take this one?
For promoting? I've only got the one slide up. Like I told you, we're revising some graphics.
Do you want me to go into the pitch here? Do you want me to put on my commentator voice?
Do you want to do it? Do you see the four?
This is Big Bad Boris. I do the commentary. This is my real
Oh my
commentary
God.
voice. I do the wrestles.
This guy.
Why did you
This
make?
is what I sound like on broadcasting.
I don't know
Why do you
what I
make him
just
sound
did.
like? Why do you make him sound like Nonalon?
Yeah, why am I?
It's because of the mustache.
Boris, I'll press the buttons. You've got about 12 seconds here per slide. So,
August 17th, we are under 2 weeks away from West Edmonton Brawl, an absolutely packed card. We have an Oils Kings All-Star Trios match. The Intangible Short Kings taking on the Clandestine Society. They are holding on to those tag team titles. They're in tough the week after, taking on the Intangible Violence. But that is a 6-man tag team match that is not to be missed. Hit me with the next one.
I'm going to hit you with LPW 29. Like I said, we've got that one.
I wasn't following. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's fair. That's why we discuss these things. You guys are seeing how the sausage is made. Your main event for LPW 29, of course.
All the talking, all the nonsense is done. It is Jack Pride getting his shot one-on-one at the LPW Grand Championship against his arch nemesis, who stole that title from under him last month. Marsa Specials making his first title defense. Tag team titles on the line. I think this is the stiffest test yet for Ride or Die. They've taken on and knocked down everybody that's been put in front of them. Intangible Violence are the latest to try to take those titles away from them. And Michael Richard Blake, Casey Ferrara made his name. He wrote his check for LPW, taking on the Thickness in a amazing time limit draw, and he is in tough against the LPW Challenge Champion, Michael Richard Blaze. That is going to be one of those matches that will have to go to jail for stealing the show.
I like that. Oh, that's a new one.
I just made that shit up.
Well done, Boris.
I might be okay at this whole wrestling thing.
Hot dang, are you ever? If you thought that Boris was okay at this wrestling thing, tune in to the replay of Saturday Night Live from last night featuring TJ Cannon, Jared Rogers.
No, TJ bailed. He had to babysit. Somebody put TJ Cannon in charge of their child, which is concerning on a whole bunch of levels. But Jared Rogers was there. The Fitz was there. Thaddeus Archer was there. Good times were had by all.
Well, I am very excited.
Heishi Matsunaga was there as well. We watched some old Matt Rats footage last night. It was good times.
It was you who shared a bunch of... Was it the Matt Rats footage with sound or without sound?
Without sound.
Oh, see, you sent that to me a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Some rare, front to back.
Some rare stuff in my collection, my friends. Rare stuff in my collection.
It's good to know a tape trader. I still have a full... What do you call it? CD booklet, I suppose, of old wrestling footage that you gave like 2 years ago, including, of course.
Oh, you took one of those? Yeah.
Yeah, including, of course,
Cage of
CZW, Cage of Death. Cage of Death!
Tape trading was a lot of fun. The kids don't know how easy they have it now with the goddamn internet. But tape trading, when those shitty 8th generation dubs of Ring of Honor events showed up, man, it was like Christmas. I could barely see Jimmy Rave. He was in there somewhere, but man, it was fun when those tapes showed up.
Oh man, we'll have to swap some stories on that one of these days. Anywho, Omar, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yep.
It's always good to see you. It's always good to have you on here. Can't wait to do it again. But until we do, I know where to follow you. Boris and Lawrence know where to follow you. Where can the people follow you?
You can follow me on the site formerly known as Twitter at Umar the Player Guy. You can also follow the podcast Best Things About Wrestling, which is the best things about wrestling, where I talk about highlights and professional wrestling in any particular month. Which, by the way, speaking of which, the YouTube channel has been popping off as of late. I have gained, I think, 100,000. Yeah, I've gained like I think 50,000 views that month, and I gained like 100 subs. Because I finally just became consistent with uploading clips, because I've been uploading clips like once a month, because why not? But then I'm like, let me just be consistent, and consistency paid off. So it is what it. Matter of fact, my latest video did 10,000 views that day. I'm like, I'm happy right now. But yeah, you can just follow me over there. Just follow me at Umar the Play Guy on the site formerly known as Twitter. You can just find my stuff there. So yeah, that's it.
Lawrence,
Yo.
I know where to find you.
Yeah.
Boris knows where to find you. Omar knows where to find you. Where can the people find you?
You can follow me at CartCNDG on all the socials. And you can check out my interview from Money in the Bank a few weeks ago with the new United States champion, L.A. Knight. Yeah. Right here on the Love Wrestling YouTube, we are uploading a lot of clips. Spencer's going to talk about it in a second. We're very busy coming up with the next month, both on the Love Pro Wrestling side and on the content creation side. We're getting a lot of stuff up on this YouTube, so please stay tuned, check us out, hit that notification bell, where we're all working very hard. Plus the announcement of a Vancouver show. There's probably more interviews coming up with WWE. We're very excited about that.
Big Bad Boris.
We are under 2 weeks away from the West Edmonton Brawl. The ticket link to get your tickets is scrolling underneath us as we speak. Ringside apparently very, very close to being sold out. Do not miss this once in a, well, I don't want to say once in a lifetime, but this is going to be a really special, fun event for all of us involved. And it's great to have Rob Van Dam. It's great to have Gigi Ray back. Forrell's Twins. It is not to be missed. Of course, our final Friday night of the month events are always a staple at the Rec Room. Tickets are on sale at Tixter.com right now. Again, you saw just a few matches that are announced right now. This is going to be, I think, one of our best shows. Don't forget Clandestine Wrestling Society /LPW Thursday night events. $10 a head. If you're in the Edmonton area, you cannot beat a cheaper ticket for some really, really, really fun professional wrestling. The Stars of Tomorrow today, plus maybe some special ring announcer on Thursday. I don't know what's going on with that. So much going on with LPW. You can check it all out at lovewrestling.ca. All of the shiz, as the kids say, is there. See, Spencer? See how I did that for you, buddy? That's what we do here.
You even know the cool lingo nowadays. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do.
The TikTok Riz party. You can find me at BB Boris on the Twitter. You can find me on the what's the picture one again? Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at BB Boris1. This next 3 or 4 weeks is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm super excited to be a part of it. Get your tickets now. You will not regret it.
Stay up
sell
to
an
date,
ice
man.
to an Eskimo. I can sell a drowning man a glass of water.
And if you want to keep up to the latest and greatest with Love Pro Wrestling, you can follow us wherever podcasts are played, videos are viewed, or awesome content is created by awesome people at Love Wrestling CA. On this very YouTube channel, you can tune in, like Lauren said, to the latest and greatest from SummerSlam weekend featuring the Beards. Pluggo and JPJ did an excellent job. We've got a ton more coming your way as far as that goes. But right now, right here on youtube.com/Love Wrestling CA, you can check out interviews with the brand new World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. You can check it out with the former Women's Champion Bayley. You can check one out with L.A. Knight. And you can also check one out here with Baron Corbin coming up in the next day or two. Like I said, they did a really, really great job. We've been doing a great job over the last little bit. Pluggo, good to see you gone home safe. I believe in between two beards. It's good to see you, stud. And again, great job this weekend on all of that. So make sure you check that out. If you are tuning in, make sure you throw us a like. Hit the subscribe button. Only about 25% of our people tuning in are subscribed to Love Wrestling, which I think we've got some great content here. So throw that your way. Hit the notification bell, and you'll stay up to date with the latest and greatest nearly daily content coming your way. It's pretty cool when we've got that much to talk about. It really is. And it means that we've got a great great group of people behind us. Got a great group of people in the comments supporting us and everywhere in between. So friends, thank you for doing so today. Thank you for continuing to do so in the future. But for Big Bad Boris, for Lawrence, for Omar, I have been and will continue to be Spencer Love. Thank you, friends. In the meantime, in the in-between time, we will see you next time on Love Wrestling.
Cheers.